Hello everyone, myself Tanvi Patel, working as Assistant Professor in Computer Engineering Department in Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center, Navsari. Our subject is Effective Technical Communication and our Unit 2 was Technical Writing. So, the last topic is Resume Writing. First of all, definition of resume writing. A resume is a written compilation of your education, work, experience, credentials, and accomplishment. Most professionals' positions require applicants to submit a resume and cover letter as part of the application process. If you are applying for any type of job, then the resume is necessary. So, you should have a proper resume format and you should build up your resume by that format only. Next, your resume is your most important tool when applying for a job. It doesn't matter how qualified you are or how much experience you have. If your resume is poorly presented or badly written, you are going to have trouble getting the job you want or even an interview. Means the resume should be perfectly formatted. If it is poorly presented or badly written, then there will be trouble to get the job or even to face the interview. Another name of resume is curriculum vitae. In short, it is called CV. So, resume is also called as CV in short. Here is example of resume writing. Next is purpose of a resume. Your resume is a marketing tool. It needs to demonstrate that you are employable, how you meet the job and the organization's requirement, that you have the right qualification and education, that you have the right experience and skills, that you have the right level of professionalism for the job. Means the purpose of resume is the organization's requirement that should be met, that should be written in your resume. Then you should have the right qualification and education, whatever the requirement of the organization. You should have the experience and skills, whatever they have been mentioned, and the professionalism for your job means you should have the best personality to get the job. Next is how long a resume should be. There is no set length for a resume. There is no length for a resume. It can be varied, it can be short, it can be long, depending upon your education and experience. A resume varies in length depending on your experience and education. If you haven't worked much before, 1 or 2 page is best, but 3 page is okay if you have got a lot of study and work behind you. If your resume is only 1 page, as long as it's well presented, it might get better result than a 2 page resume full of unnecessary informations. Means your resume should contain only necessary informations, not more than 2 pages should be covered in the resume, and it might cause sometimes problem of 2 page or 3 page resume. It should be short and sweet, and you should not include unnecessary informations in your resumes. Next, how to structure your resume. Generally, it's always good to present the information on your resume in this sequence. Means the sequence should be followed. First is the contact details. After that, the opening statement. After that, list of key skills. Next, list of technical or software skills. Next is personal attributes or career overview. Next is education qualification, employment history, volunteering work or work placement, and last one is references. Not everything in this list must appear in your resume every time, and the order can change from application to application. Means the order which is given, it can be varied. Means all the details will not be mentioned sometimes because it change from application to application. The most important thing is to get the most useful information across first. Means the most important thing is that you should include the important thing in your resume first. For example, if your education history is not specifically related to the job, put it toward the end of your resume behind the information that is related to the job. For example, if the advertisement is being given in the newspaper related to the job which you have done, then your education qualification history is not perfectly specifical to your job, but you have done that work, then you should attach that part at the last of the resume, so that the basic information whichever you have included your experience, that will be mentioned first, so the you will be qualified perfectly. Next, what your resume should include. There are a number of things that every resume should have on it. They are: first is contact details. Make sure you include your name, email address, and a contact phone number on your resume. You don't have to include your home address, although there might be some situation when doing so would be a good idea. Means you should not include your home address in your contact details. Sometimes it is necessary, but not all the time. Next is opening statement. An opening statement is a summary of who you are, where you have studied or worked, and what you bring to the job. It should be about 6 lines long and written in first person without the personal reference. That is, don't say I did this, say did this instead of. Your opening statement should start with one sentence about who you are and what you bring to the job. Then describe the skills and attributes you have that suit to your job. Next is key skills and strengths. Your resume should include a list of between 10 to 15 skills that link your experience to the job you are applying for. You should include jobs you have had, your studies, any work placements you have done, any volunteering work you have done. Next is technical or software skills. This is a short list of the names of software or technology you know how to use. For example, you should include word processing or spreadsheet software, programming languages, and the tools which you have used. Next is personal attributes. If you haven't got much work experience, a list of personal attributes can be another way to demonstrate that you are the right person for the job. Things you could include in this section might include ways you can demonstrate that you are reliable, honest, trustworthy, or quick to learn new things. That is your personal attributes. Next is educational history. It only needs to show your highest level of qualification. You don't need to include your results unless showing them proves how well you have suited to the job. If you can, you should also include a few bullet points listing your academic achievements. For example, school or class captaincy, awards you have won, or group you have been part of. That is your educational history. Next is employment history. When providing your employment history, start with your most recent job and go backwards from there. Means you should start with your recent job you have done, then going backward towards the last job. Give the position, title, and the dates you worked there. If you haven't a job before, you can use other things to demonstrate your experience. It includes work experience you have done through school, work placement or internships that you have done through universities, and volunteer work you have done, if any. Next is types of resumes. There are 3 types of professional resume formats. First one is chronological, second one is functional, and third one is combination. So first one is chronological resume format. The most common resume format is chronological resume format. It lists your work history in reverse chronological order with your most recent work history listed at the top. Means in chronological, if you have any work history, then the work history is being written in the reverse order. The first is written the recent work which you have done, then the last. You may also add a summary or objective, and you will include your educational and credentials as well. The advantage of this type of resume is that it highlights a linear progression in your career. In other words, if you have been focused on one type of career and you want to show how you have progressed on that path, a chronological resume is the way to go. The example of a resume: here you can see the chronological example of a resume, the experience, education qualification, skills, activities. That is your chronological resume example. So next is functional resume format. In functional resume format, it focuses on the skills. They are organized by different types of skills or experiences rather than by chronological work history. Functional resume are good for people with gaps in employment history or whose work history is not directly related to the job. With this type of resume, your skills are listed first. List the skill first and then go into more detail about that skill. Follow your skills with your education and work history. Now last one is combination resume format. In combination resumes are a mix-up of chronological and functional resume format. They provide a chronological list of one's work history, but they also have a section that focuses on different types of skills. This format shows employers both your skills and your experience. It's a good choice if you are changing career or if you have a varied but steady work history. With this type of resume, you had start with a section to show your skills. The next section would show your job experience followed by your education, and you might also include an objective or summary at the beginning. In combination resume format, you can include summary or objective at the beginning. Then you should start with a section to show your skills, means you will mention your skill first, then next your job experience, and after that followed by education. This should be included in combination resume format. Thank you.